So last week I caught up with a couple of clients who got some really bad financial advice, and it got me thinking. And I wanted to share the story to give you a bit of insight into some of the things that you should look out for if you're going to be using an advisor. Now, these two different clients, they both got bad advice, but not for the reason that you'd expect. You see, good advice gives you a game plan to take you from where you are today to the results that you want now and into the future, balancing the financial results that you want as well as the personal or lifestyle goals that you want to get. Now, great advice, on the other hand, that gives you the same game plan, but then it makes sure that it actually happens. So these two clients, the first one, they saw this advisor to get on top of their budget and their cash flow. And they caught up with the advisor. They had a few sessions with him. They put a pretty good sort of plan in place where they could see that the budget was going to work. They were going to be hitting their savings targets that they wanted as well. But then at the end of the process, the advisor sent them on their way, and they didn't actually follow through to that extra and necessary next step of making sure that everything was set up in a way so that it was going to actually work. Now, it seems to make sense that someone would do this. In fact, I don't know why you would bother doing it unless you were going to give someone the track to run on. But they had a great plan, but they had no system to support the plan. And as a result, they got confused, they got off track. And there were also some, intricacies of their situation that made it difficult for them to do it on their own. So I think when you're getting advice, and especially if you're speaking to an advisor, ask them that once your plan's set up, how are you going to make sure that I actually get the results that I want? What support are you going to get? Because in chatting more with this new client, then I found out that they wouldn't have actually proceeded with going through the process unless they knew that they were going to have the support they needed to actually get the results that they were going to plan for. So a great strategy without a good system or structure, it will eventually fall apart. So ask the advisor what support you're going to get and make sure that it's at the level that you're comfortable with to give you the results that you're after. Now, the second client, it was a slightly more complex situation, young couple, both executives making really good money, really strong on the savings side, already had some property and had built quite a nice base for themselves. They had a young family as well, and they were looking to take that next step and really leverage what they had to get ahead. They engaged with an advisor, and it sounded like the advisor had a fantastic process. Apparently, they had close to 10 sort of different meetings. They did quite a lot of financial education, which I think is super important to empower people to have the confidence to take action. But when they actually got their financial plan at the end, the plan itself, it was recommending that they purchase two different investment properties, one through a self-managed super fund that a related company linked to the advice group was going to set up and do the administration for, i.e. going to charge fees on an ongoing basis. And the second one in their personal name. Now, both properties were also being recommended through a property, like a buyer's agent type off the plan set up from another related company, of which there was a significant commission to be paid as a result of these clients actually purchasing the property in the order of the tens of thousands of dollars. Now, thankfully, these clients, they didn't actually proceed with taking the advice because they could see that there was this huge conflict, and they really lacked that confidence that the advisors that they were dealing with were recommending this strategy because it was the very best thing for them to do, as opposed to the fact that them and their related businesses were going to be paid significant sums of money as a result. But the fact is that these guys spent a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money, almost $10,000 on this financial plan, to ultimately end up in a position where they had a plan that they did not have confidence in and weren't prepared to proceed with. And that's when we got to talking about what their next step was going to be. So, I think that education, as I said, is really important to give people confidence. But another really important factor in building your confidence in any financial strategy is ensuring that the strategy is free of conflict or potential conflict. This is particularly important when you're engaging an advisor or any sort of professional to work with you, because if there's a conflict of interest for them, then it can really reduce your confidence. So one of the biggest ways that these conflicts occur is through conflicted payments. So payments like commission payments, payments with related parties, as we saw with, related business referral payments, because when you have referral payments, it's likely that because the person's getting paid money for doing this referral setup, they're much more likely to endorse, or at least you can feel that they're much more likely to endorse the recommendations of the other person that's paying the money to refer you to them. So referral payments are an issue. Commissions are a big issue because I think that, when you see that somebody's getting paid all this money as a result of you taking out a particular product or setting up some sort of investment, then you really doubt the advice as well. So when you're using an advisor, make sure that it's one that manages conflict in their advice process. For me, we use a fee-only model where, the only money that we get paid for our clients is through a fixed dollar-based fee where they say, we want this work done. I say it's going to cost X dollars. They say yes. That's all that we get paid, and we don't accept payments from any other sources, commission payments, referral payments, trailing fees, kickbacks, any of those sorts of things. So that's what a fee-only model means. So if that's important to you, then look for a fee-only advisor. I should say that I do know a number of great advisors that aren't fee-only, and they still give great advice as well. The important thing is that the conflict is managed. So your advisor is required to disclose any payments that they make. So before you dive into the advice process, ask them what those payments are and how they get paid and which different sources they get paid from, just so that at the front end, you've got open eyes around, any things that could potentially impact the advice that you get over time, and make sure that you're crystal clear on that before you get started. So I hope those stories helped, give you an idea of what to be aware of when it comes to looking for an advisor. I think that good advice means that a few things. It's got to be easy to understand, because that's going to give you confidence to actually act on the advice. It should build in an element of financial education, so that, again, build that confidence, build the knowledge, and also to put you in the driver's seat so that you're the one taking control. Thirdly, you want conflicts to be managed, ideally eliminated wherever possible too. And then once you've got all of that, that's going to help you end up with a great plan that you've got that confidence in. The next important thing is making sure that you've got a good system or process that's going to make the plan actually happen and make you get these results that you're doing all the work to actually plan for. So ask your advisor the sort of process that they use. Also, accountability, I think, is really important, and accountability and focus, because it's so easy to get caught up in things that are urgent, like flood of emails, the day-to-day sort of stuff, but not as important as things like your financial security, and other important things like health and relationships, these sorts of things. So you want a system and a process that makes it easy to maintain that focus. Ideally, have a level of accountability there so you get results. And if you can tick all of those boxes, you're going to be very well placed to get the best results from when you get financial advice. So I hope you found this helpful. Love to get your feedback, so let me know, but I hope this helps you when you go down that path.